To
Usually we
delight
act like we're drinking coffee and then, you know, whatever. Yum, that's yummy coffee. Thanks,
That
thanks
is
so
some
much.
delicious coffee that you made, Tommy.
You're welcome.
It was nice of you to fly it in all the way from Dallas, or Plano, I mean.
We used a trebuchet to transport this from here. We just figured out the efficiency level, and I talked to Elon Musk. He and I, we had a deal. SpaceX, it's actually going to be new Space T for trebuchet.
Well,
it's going to be great.
No, that's absolutely right, because you notice the similarity of this to the rockets.
That's some kind of space capsule.
Yeah, basically, this went suborbital, came back down, landed in my backyard vertically, and here it is. I'm just drinking it now. It's still actually cold because it's cold coffee. It's just so well insulated. So thank you, Elon.
That's impressive.
Thank you, Tommy. You're gonna have to name your name to like Rodney Rocket or something, if you know.
I have to tell you, Tommy, the first year that we did that I participated in SlingFest. I participated in the last. Well, I was there for the last two last years. We used to brew beer in Richard's garage. It was a makerspace event that we did once a month, and he was building that Kraken, the trebuchet with the squid you were talking about. And he sized that trebuchet so that the base would just barely fit under his garage door. And I thought this machine was huge. You know, you stick the arm on it that's another 8 feet, 10 feet long or whatever it is, and it's huge. And we watched it grow every month. It got bigger. And then I went out to SlingFest, and I pulled into the parking lot on that chilly, foggy morning, and I see the trebuchets on the other side of the field they're not 10 feet high. They're 30 or 40 feet high without the arm, just that A-frame and the different. I had no idea these machines were going to be that big. I was just in awe, Tommy. It was amazing.
It was pretty fascinating to see that because, I also, when I started, wanted to build it in the garage, but I've seen some of those other large ones, so I knew that we wanted to build one that was collapsible. And even then, taking mine that was collapsible, and we could make a 16-foot tall one. You get out there and you see some of the big boys that are out there competing, and they're climbing up on top of their trebuchet because it's just that big, and they'll spend all day assembling it because it's, again, that much. We were just kind of messing around, and then we got to see a little bit of, not even the big leagues, but some of the other really, really impressive designs out there, because we're all working with wood, and gosh, again, some of those working with metal. There's the Veneta Pumpkin Chunkin', the Route 66 one that happens at Veneta, Oklahoma, and that one, I think that I clench my butt every time that thing fires because it's just so much force, and being even like 30 feet away from that, you clench. And they've got guys in harnesses climbing up it with safety ladders and everything. It's
Do I have
impressive.
to build something that big to have fun? Can I do this on a smaller scale and still?
So one of my friends
actually
actually
different fruit besides pumpkins.
Yeah, one of my friends totally came up with the idea of having a marshmallow one, and it was basically using not toothpicks but popsicle sticks, and you can make a trebuchet out of popsicle sticks, just a bit of glue, and then do that and toss a marshmallow. And it was a way for kids to get to see this, which we thought was great because, hey, look, we want to get the kids involved. Building, not any of the other unsafe activities.
That was one of my favorite spots at the last year of SlingFest. That small trebuchet they had set up for the kids to fire with the little.
Oh gosh, the kids love that.
Yeah, they had so much, and they were emulating the adults because every adult was like doing a count like 3, 2, 1, fire or something. All the kids were emulating that. Nobody told them to do it. They just did the countdown. They were all serious about it. It was fantastic.
I remember one of Carl, again, he had his family involved in it, and it was kind of cool because he had his kids as part of his team. So he hooked up one of those TNT, like cartoon TNT things that you push down on, and that was the actual release mechanism. So he got his kids, he set it all up, his kids would go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it would toss. And again, you don't need to build a big one to have fun with it. There's all sorts of sizes and designs. Oh my gosh, the number of designs. There's the traditional hinged counterweight, which is what we see in lots of the movies, but there's MURLIN, MURLIN, created by Robert Vance, who is a physics teacher, physics high school teacher. He created a few different other designs that are more
refrigeration.
Maybe no. Refrigeration. So refrigeration and catapults again
guy.
Could be a little bit of a stick all your counterweight into that and use that as stick all your cement into that as use a counterweight.
I enjoyed the MURLIN catapults because they looked to be about 5 or 6 feet high, and they were hucking oranges or something, hundreds of feet.
Yeah,
and
just
the way they fire, that kind of snap they have at the end was really neat.
So the MURLIN again, it just did this. The ballistic started off on top of the arm, and the MURLIN arm would rotate around, and so you get this nice spiral, and it had
you get like a spin and a half out of it or something.
Really? That's pretty cool.
Fascinating. Absolutely
That's cool.
Fascinating.
So I think I saw a clip. I mean, this SlingFest was actually on the news and stuff. They interviewed you and pretty big deal, I guess. So I guess if somebody wanted to see actually like that in action, they could probably look that up somewhere. Is that right, Tommy?
Absolutely. We're on YouTube. Funny enough, not part of SlingFest, but this was also part of Dude Perfect. The guys that would go out and do all the crazy shots, because of SlingFest, approached me and said, "Hey, can we do like a basketball goal? You think you can actually make into a basketball goal?" And we tried it, and we didn't. But what they did is they then detached the basketball goal, and 2 of them were holding it. And they did like a good, I think, 300-foot shot of like holding onto a basketball goal. One team firing it, the other team holding onto it, and they actually made it a few times. And it was a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool.
And you were throwing actual basketballs.
Throwing actual basketballs.
So what would we?
If it hits a person.
What would somebody search? Is Dude Perfect SlingFest, I guess, or?
Dude Perfect Trebuchets.
Okay.
Sorry, Dude Perfect Catapult is what it was.
Catapult.
And I think it's their season 2, episode 6 or 7.
Okay, and then we'll see you
TV.
Working with them, doing yada yada yada. Oh, so this is actually like Apple TV. So this is actually like a TV show, I guess.
This was actually Nickelodeon.
Oh, Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon had the Dude Perfect TV series for a bit. Funny, I think they started off in country music television, which was a little bit odd, and then they went to Nickelodeon. I was trying to understand that as well, but I think it's the same way that MTV stopped doing TV shows, so CMT stopped doing. MTV stopped doing music. CMT started doing more.
I could see the whole like pumpkin chunking being on CMT, but not necessarily Dude Perfect. That seems like a bit of a stretch.
It was a bit of a stretch, but they got to Nickelodeon and. They had a good budget and we had a lot of fun. We even put you can in that show, in that episode, you can see the MURLIN in action.
Nice.
I will for sure link the SlingFest clip from YouTube down in the description. I will try to find where Dude Perfect streams to also include that, but.
Yeah,
I'm not promising anything.
If you don't have an Apple device, I guess you're out of luck.
Maybe. That might be why I couldn't find it.
I don't know. But if you do, it'll be glorious. So you can just
yeah.
I'm wearing a kilt in there too.
Oh, okay. Maybe you're wearing one now. I don't even know. You got your sword.
You've got your medieval siege gentleman shirt.
On there. Kingdom of Loathing. It's like swords and drinking. Yeah, okay, great. These go great together.
Well, Tommy, when you're not doing Kingdom of Loathing or playing with catapults, what do you do for a living? Are you a full-time catapult man? Is that the profession called?
That would be awesome. That sounds like a good like country song of a full-time catapulter. No, I work for Microsoft. I am funny enough, I work in the cloud. So I am a cloud solution architect. So this is great to go in with my, hey, I want to toss things and have them go into the sky. But then at some point, gravity takes in.
Sure. So
But
being a cloud man, do you like, is your rival the edge man? Is that kind of the
Cloud Man and Edge Man.
cloud?
The two are converging now.
Oh,
The two are converging. Yeah, I know. It's
Okay.
the cloud is now creeping out into the edge, and that's a lot of the things you'll see in the gosh, we can have a whole session based on that. But yeah,
is that the fog man now? Maybe is that I'm a fog man. All right, maybe.
The mist.
Probably
The mi-
taking
the
that
mist
probably
is
taking that
taking
joke too
over,
far,
yes.
as I tend to do.
Story of my life, man. Story of my life.
Yeah. So anyway, you work in the cloud. What does that entail?
That entails one of two things: either being at home working on this, helping people understand containers, and then also going out to either customer sites and saying, "Hey, look, containers," or well, like write on a whiteboard a lot and draw boxes and draw lines to other boxes, and that's actually it's pretty much my job. Is I draw boxes and lines to other boxes and say the
Okay.
word containers a lot.
Well, these days containers is quite the big thing. It's the gift that keeps on giving, I think, right?
Yes. Docker's really run off with containers, and then the world's run off with it.
Yeah. Well, I was making probably another poor joke about the Suez Canal.
I forgot about the Suez Canal already.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Me and my topical reference.
I feel like I was like, well, I don't think anybody got hurt in that, so I guess it's cool to, it's not too early, right? Not too soon. If everybody's,
I don't know.
The map showing all the boats waiting to get into the canal, piling up behind each other, is fascinating.
I'm sure they're pretty bored. Anyway, I've gone off subject yet again, so sorry about that, Pat.
That's all right, Jeremy.
I won't try to
yell at you.
I'm used to it. This is great. This is how my brain works anyway. So
well, we also have on our notes that says, at this point the show will probably devolve to the point where people are just trying to drive or work out or whatever else, and they can't hit the button to fast forward or change stuff, and
they can't change the channel. They're stuck with us now.
I mean, maybe they can, and if you have the option or still listening, then we very much appreciate it. But
hello, person.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Can I say that? Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Well, hi to my mom too. She's a fan actually.
Hi, Tommy's mom.
Yeah. And hi, Tommy's mom. It's great that you're listening.
What else do you do, Tommy?
Yeah. So I'm also the vice president for TheLab.ms, which is a makerspace in Richardson, Texas. And the lab started around the same time that we were doing Pumpkin Chunkin', and there's been a lot of collaboration between the two. And we just recently moved from Plano in our about 1,500 square foot location to Richardson, where we've now got the city of Richardson. We're actually part of their strategic vision. So we've now got a 3,000 square foot area, and a CNC machine just came in. We've also just got a dye sublimation printer. Thank you, Microsoft, for sponsoring those. And that's a lot of my time is helping. Even though the pandemic was happening, people wanted to be connected to something because, stupid virus. We all got there and we all had to stay at home, didn't go out, and we're losing that connection with other things and building and making. So even during the pandemic, we were starting to see people joining, safety protocols and everything, but it's because they wanted to be connected to something other than themselves. They wanted to be part of some sort of stimulation of making. And even through the pandemic, we found a new place, doubled our size, increased our membership, and are now even have more members than we did pre-pandemic.
Well, that's fantastic. And that's what the lab.ms, that's your website, is that correct?
It is the website, is the name of the corporation, .ms for .makerspace, and I think it's Malaysia, or I forget what the top level domain is.
I always say it's Micronesia, but that's not true.
Micronesia.
Oh yeah, like if something's .tv, it's what, Tuvalu, I think, is that right?
No, it's television,
exactly.
Jeremy.
Oh, television. You're right, it's television. Hey, so Tommy, I saw something on Twitter too. It's something related to Microsoft. I didn't quite get the connection, but it was this crazy paperclip thing. Can you got that to show off for us?
I sure do. So I working at Microsoft, they had a thing of, hey, come in here and try to show off working with the cloud, and we'll have like a hackathon working with the cloud. And I was like, well, you know what? I've seen the Big Mouth Billy Bass, and I've seen how someone connected Alexa to the Big Mouth Billy Bass. And I was like, that's pretty clever. I need to do the Microsoft equivalent. What would be the Microsoft equivalent of Big Mouth Billy Bass? And well, sure enough, it's Clippy.
Oh, nice.
Clippy is a little bit disassembled right now, and but Clippy is right here, and I was able to make a Lego robotic version of Clippy that whenever you could speak to it, and I was using the cloud to do both speech to text, text to speech, and natural language processing. So I could talk to it and ask it, hey, what do you think of Keanu Reeves? And Clippy would go to the cloud and say, I think Keanu is awesome. Or whatever else, and being able to then move the arm every time that there's a sound coming out. It ended up being a really complicated project because of multiple disciplines, the puppetry, the technology of like the cloud, the speech to text, the natural language processing, the animatronics of a Raspberry Pi, Lego, all that. It was fascinating, and I put that on Twitter, and gosh, you got 300,000 views.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice.
And I guess since you work for Microsoft, did you get paid for this too?
In a sense that I was doing it while I was under salary, but I have not gotten any commission or anything. In fact, this might be better for me to be a little bit on the DL about this, because if Microsoft Legal finds out about this, I don't know how they would accept it. So right now it's just kind of under the whole, hey, Tommy's doing this fun thing. And there's a lot of Clippy enthusiasts.
Really? Because I guess for those that maybe use Mac OS or whatever else, Clippy's like a thing that you ask it different questions, like how do I open the start menu or something, right? Or something. I guess you've already opened the start menu.
It looks like you're trying to write a resume.
Yeah, it gives you little hints, right? So is Clippy still a thing on Microsoft computers, or was it phased out at some point?
If I remember correctly, it was like Word 97 or Word 2000 that they introduced it, and it became really aware, or not aware, but like it became
self-aware?
Popular. People became aware of it. Well known, yes. Became very well known, and then caused a lot of ire. And there's someone that's actually written a research paper on the memes of Clippy, as well as why Clippy had all this sometimes violent, not actual violence, but very people emotionally charged to Clippy. And it's because of the type of intelligence it was showing, and that it showed an intelligence of what you were doing right here and now, but not an awareness of the greater picture of like, hey, you've already asked me that, stop asking. And it brought a very fascinating approach to why Clippy was so, charged. So there was that, and then at some point they decided we're going to remove Clippy from this because it's causing a lot of problems. But right before they did that, Microsoft did this video, and I kid you not, look it up, and it has Gilbert Gottfried as the voice of Clippy.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
and
not?
Clippy has a family. And let's just say there's a little bit of drama that happens because, Clippy isn't able to support his family anymore because he is no longer part of Microsoft Word.
Oh, no.
I know. It's like, you almost feel sorry. But
that's like a little darker than I was expecting for Clippy.
Yeah.
It really was. It was kind of surprising. But there has been a resurgence inside Microsoft and outside of Clippy. And there's a number of us that are really, really wanting it to find a place again. And there's also, Microsoft needs to be mindful of its brand of this, again, emotionally charged icon. So it's been a little bit of a legal, hey, look, what can we do, what can't we do? And I think this probably falls under maybe a parody. Maybe I'm the Weird Al of Clippy.
Maybe. Well, what I was thinking is like at the end of that commercial, like it could have a second part. He's out of work, and then he gets want to go a little darker with it, even you could he bends himself into a like a skeleton key for handcuffs, and then and then you could take that even like 10 more levels if you wanted. It's like a true crime drama or something.
Clippy gets a job as a lockpick.
Yeah, as a lockpick, and yeah. But since you work for
really
Microsoft, you don't have to comment on that. Obviously, Pat and I or just me really. Pat, I won't even drag Pat into this. Just me.
Wow,
I came up with that.
Dear Scott, I love my job.
What's that?
That's my manager. No, I was just saying, dear Scott, my manager, I love my job.
Hopefully, the right people are listening, not the wrong people, depending on the context. Yeah, but or what? You can go to that.
I'm advertising.
Well, that's a good little segue,
Product
I guess.
placement.
Where Tommy, if somebody wanted to find you, where could they find you? Or is there anything we haven't touched on that we should? I mean, I see a little sign behind you that has our logo on it, which is awesome.
Yes,
what's up with that?
I made that. So this Adafruit has a number of different boxes that they put out, the Ada box, and this one was a really well designed. It has a 32 by 64 LED RGB grid, and they had the plans for how to put it all together and then make your own signs and then put bitmaps onto it. And so I converted your logo to a bitmap, did that with some scrolling text, and huzzah! It's been fun to kind of have that in the background for other, again, talking to other customers at Microsoft and have their logo in the background. It kind of feels special.
Right. And then
It looks fantastic.
On your right side, you've got it looks like some sort of a Star Destroyer. Maybe it's a
yes.
Was it Excelsior? Maybe it's one of the big. Was it Star? I forget all the different classes, but okay. So how many Lego pieces is that?
Oh, good question. I think a better question is how many are in the room total, because I do have the Imperial Star Destroyer, gosh, I forget the name of it, but the grand one, the Super Star Destroyer, the Executor. Yes. Right there, and I've got the Millennium Falcon, and I've got all of the UCS Lego Ultimate Collector Series. Or UCS,
So what I see is just a normal Star Destroyer, just a run of the mill. It's a I guess by the last movie that I saw, just Star Destroyers, it seemed like pretty bad machines, and then by the end of it, it's like there's like 1,000 of these in the whatever. It's just another Star Destroyer. It's getting ridiculous, but I guess you got to jump the shark at some point in your series, I guess. And you had another controversial possibly statement from me, I guess.
Let us know why Jeremy is wrong in the comments below.
Yeah, let me know why I'm wrong, and maybe hopefully Pat won't fire me, but yeah, Tommy, as we were saying,
remember, no firing's happening in this.
No
podcast.
firing of any of us. But I mean, I don't think Jeremy Cook Consulting is gonna fire me anytime
We're talking
soon.
to you, Scott.
Yeah, don't fire Tommy. Look, Steve Ballmer. Look, Steve Ballmer, if you're still the CEO there, don't be nice to Tommy, or not.
Steve is long gone. Developers. He's moved on.
Listen here.
Which is funny enough. He owns the Clippers.
Well,
Steve Ballmer bought the basketball team, the Clippers, which is.
That's
change
great.
The name to the Clippy.
He should. Yeah.
Well, listen, Tommy. And in all seriousness, note, if you get in trouble with Microsoft, I'll just talk to my uncle Tim Cook, and I'm sure you can get a job with Apple. So
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Are you related to Tim Apple?
Not whatsoever. but he might listen to the Creativity Podcast. So if you do, we expect you to become Patreon pretty soon. Hopefully, maybe the $10,000 level if you enjoy it.
What are your levels? Do you have like the Trebuchet level? Maybe I can support that. We should have a Trebuchet level.
I think it's $1 a month is the plastic level, $2 is aluminum, $10 is the Shack Steel level. I believe it's like $5,000 a month, and then I think 10,000 is probably a bad return on investment level. But it might be great for you.
That one.
You sponsor us, you get a new job with, I don't know, pays you millions of dollars a year, and make that connection, and it's it's a great investment, possibly.
Yeah, and maybe you'll let me borrow your private jet so I can lend it to Jeremy.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Pat, I know you're working on Uber Lights, so when that takes off, you know,
you guys can both borrow my private jet.
Awesome.
Thanks, Pat.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
To go from your house to my house. So
yeah,
close.
Yeah. Well, can it land on the Trebuchet / balloon field? Is it short takeoff?
If it has VTOL, maybe. The vertical.
Oh, now I need a better jet. Oh, this is getting very expensive, Tommy.
Yeah, you need to get a. You know, whenever they come out with the civilian version of the Osprey, got to get one of those. I'll tell you what, though, if they ever do, the pilots who know how to fly that, you got some bank right there, man.
Yeah, that's not easy.
I'd assume so. I mean, I've never flown any sort of. I have flown a plane one time for about 10 seconds. That was actually pretty terrifying.
I want to try flying a helicopter.
No, I don't want to try that.
I really want
There's
to try.
helicopter lessons. Yeah,
but I don't want the lessons. I want to see how I do. I just want to be put. A simulator would be, the simulator machine would be fine. I don't need to do it in a real helicopter. But I want to see, with nobody explaining anything, I want to see how I make out.
Well, I guess.
But this is going way off topic, and we haven't even found out where to find Tommy.
Yeah.
If he wants to, he even wants to be found.
Yeah, Tommy, where do we find you? We've asked many times, but maybe you don't even want to be found. So where can we find you?
This podcast. I've got a website, lastcoolnameleft.com, that I rarely update. I've got a Twitter, last cool name, because Twitter only accepts 15 characters. If anyone from Twitter is listening, I would really, really appreciate it if you could change that to 16 characters. So
Tommy is one of the few people that would like to have a longer Twitter handle.
Yes.
Yes.
Longer? I don't. Yep.
Okay.
And where else am I? I think that's kind of like the good way to reach me. Reach me on this podcast. So find Pat. Pat knows how to find me.
Yeah, I'll get you in touch with Tommy. I know where he lives.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that being said, where can we find you, Pat? What's up with you?
You can find me at my website, which is patshead.com.
Okay.
My head.
Your head.
Possessive head. My head. I have a lot of trouble reading that email address to people. In person. They get very confused.
It's the head at Pat Heads.
The head.
Speaking of that, have you watched the rest of The Head yet?
I haven't. I need to. I'm going to sit down and watch that before the next episode of this podcast. Yeah,
you should. It's 7, 8 out of 10, pretty decent. Not a,
that's good enough for me.
Good enough for you or me, I guess.
Are you watching anything good, Tommy, that we should tune into on TV? I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. There was a show that we watched last night on HBO, and I forgot what it was, but it was basically someone talks to us. Gosh. Yeah.
Was it the Creativity Podcast?
No, it was not the Creativity Podcast. We did watch the Zack Snyder cut, and we have thoughts. I'm not too sure if they're well connected thoughts yet. We have thoughts. I think I liked it.
I thought about I watched the first cut, and I thought about watching that new cut, and then I saw it was 4 hours, and I said, I don't think I have 4 hours to sit here right now.
Think of it as a mini series instead. It was a lot more manageable because it's actually broken up into parts, and if you just
there's good stopping points.
Yeah, there's a complete stopping point, and they're like part 2, and then go to this, and so you can totally stop it there and go on to the next part or not. It's in that aspect, it was well designed.
So is it a watch or don't watch? What do you think?
Watch with someone that you can like poke fun of it with, because it got like the second half I thought was better than the first half, because the first half like not too sure about this, but hey, let's kind of poke fun at it and make it through, and by the end we're like, okay, yeah, I liked it. So
this should be a Mystery Science Theater, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
The Mystery Science Theater cut of the Zack Snyder cut of that. Yes.
Make it happen.
I feel like at some point, like I loved Watchmen because that was a really long one, but it was really good. But I just feel like at some point, after 40, 50 superhero movies, I just got to the point like, no, we don't need what is it like Birdman and the Fast Guy, it's like all these like second third tier characters. I'm like, I don't need to watch this. And yeah, my wife and I, we tried to sit down and watch the first Wonder Woman, and at some point it's just like, wow, this is kind of like a cheesy version of 300 or something. It's like, what?
Too many origin stories.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. You see one, it's like, okay, I get it. You had a hard life growing up, and then you had this power bestowed upon you, or maybe you met whatever, yada, yada, yada. And, you've taken us through this for 2 hours, but really it's just, you've taken us through this, and things are really going to happen more in the second and third 2 hours that I just don't feel like, yeah. Anyway, again, another possibly controversial opinion for our audience today.
So tell Jeremy why he's wrong in the comments.
So tell me why I'm wrong. And I guess that being said, you can find me at my website, it's jeremyscook.com. I try to update it sometimes, and if you don't like what I said, you can send it to complaints@jeremyscook.com. We're not even sure if that's an active email address, but either way, that's where you send your complaints. If you've got nice things to say, it's hi@jeremyscook.com.
Register tell him Jeremy why he's wrong.com and just have it linked to like a YouTube video of you just like go ahead
saying something wrong
in the comments.
Maybe, but I don't know if I feel like spending $16 a year or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you can find me there. I've also got a YouTube page. Just look up Jeremy Cook, or I've got a new one. It's called Laser Cook. So that's basically I wanted to break out some of my like more laser centric videos, laser focused videos, as you might say, onto a separate page so people would watch it and not be like, why isn't he making something with PCBs or robots or whatever? Just something kind of so I could put out some short videos that are more as I said, a bit more laser focused. So,
yeah. Jeremy bought one of your lasers, Tommy.
Yeah, same kind.
The big
I guess.
red, the big red metal box.
And if you subscribe to my channel there now, you literally increase my subscribership by like 10% as of this. You
can
recording.
make such a huge difference today.
You can make a difference, and you can also increase the Creativity Podcast's membership by roughly slightly more than 1% as of this recording. So that's pretty cool. That
rounds up to 2.
Rounds up to 2.
Do it.
2%.
Rounds up to 2.
That's not true, but we're saying it anyway.
Yeah, we're saying it.
Math.
I guess we've said all we need to today. Or that's a terrible way to cut it off. What we got anything else?
Yeah, we're done here. Yeah.
I guess we've done.
You good? You good?
We've done all the damage we're going to do in one day, I think.
I think so.
No,
too.
we can do lots more damage. We're talking about Trebuchets.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much, Tommy. Thanks, Pat, and thank you to me too. I'll say so.
Thank you,
thanks, Jeremy.
Nobody ever thanks.
I really appreciate it.
Why
this has been fun. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that we were talking about the cone of danger. Hey, bring this back. We had the cone of danger before. You were talking about you were used to the cone of danger in front of you, but behind you. And we're also talking about vertically. One of the incidents I had was building our brand new trebuchet, and it kept going backwards. And then it's like, finally, I think I've got it dialed in. We went forward for just a little bit, and we're going to add more weight. And it went backwards into the cone of danger. The thing is, I thought I was smart because we had these trees behind us. And I thought I was smart because, hey, look, if the ballista goes backwards, it's just going to hit the trees. No. It went over 40 feet of trees, landed on one of my neighbor's cars. I had not met this neighbor yet. So my first introduction to them was going up, like, tail between my legs, knocking on their door, trying to tell them that I just broke their side view mirror, and that it's like, you know, here's your side view mirror. I brought it to you because oops. And then my second introduction to them was realizing they don't speak English. They were a new family from Thailand who came in, and their 11-year-old daughter was the one who had to translate all this going on. So yes, the cone of danger is real in front and behind you. It's all good. We ended up like, you know, like our daughters became friends, but it was still just a really weird way to get introduced to your neighbor. As well as safety is a paramount concern when dealing with these sorts of machines.
Yeah. I'm so glad you only hit the side view mirror. I was expecting like you hit the roof and it broke all the windows and the frame
away
got twisted and it was just like $1 million repair because everything got damaged. But you did good.
Yeah. Inches on either side, this could have gone catastrophically bad for our team. And our budget would have been into fixing someone else's car as opposed to the trebuchet itself.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a good place to end, I think. Definitely did a little more damage with that.
Yes.
Yeah.